What's it really like inside Buckingham Palace? For Princess Anne, the experience was not always as glamorous as it seems. While the palace represents royal grandeur, for Anne, it was often a place of tension, loneliness, and frustration. In her recent emotional farewell, she offered a rare glimpse into her life behind the palace walls, shattering the illusion of royal perfection. What she revealed about her time there might surprise you, and it's not the fairy tale life that the world imagines. Anne's perspective provides a new understanding of what it means to live under the shadow of the monarchy, offering a candid look at the struggles that many royals face but seldom speak about. Anne didn't hold back in her reflections, revealing that the life of luxury associated with Buckingham Palace often came at the cost of personal freedom. The pressure of being a royal meant constantly living under the public's microscope, and Anne spoke about the personal toll this took. She explained how, despite being surrounded by wealth and privilege, there was always an emotional void. Anne's decision to leave the palace is a powerful statement about the complexities of royal life that go beyond public perception. It's easy to look at the grandeur of Buckingham Palace and imagine a life of ease, but Anne's experience was filled with sacrifices and struggles that few could understand. What Anne's farewell makes clear is that being a member of the royal family often means being trapped in a gilded cage. The expectations placed on royals to maintain a perfect image are immense, and for Anne, it became unbearable. She admitted that while the palace offered the finest things in life, it also demanded much more than she was willing to give. Her words shed light on the emotional toll of being royalty, where duty and public image often take precedence over personal happiness. Was Princess Anne finally breaking free from this cycle? Or was she simply reclaiming her voice after years of being silenced by tradition? Anne's candid reflections have sent shockwaves through the royal world, as they challenge the widely held belief that the palace life is one of ease and indulgence. She revealed a side of her life that few outsiders had ever known. It wasn't just about leaving Buckingham Palace, it was about taking back control over her own life and identity. The public has long been fascinated by the royal family's carefully crafted image, but Anne's openness has shattered that image, exposing the deep personal cost of being part of one of the world's most famous families. So what does this mean for the future of the royal family? Anne's words have created a ripple effect, prompting many to reconsider their views on the monarchy. Could this be the first step toward change within the royal family? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: Princess Anne's story will never be the same again. Secret struggles at Buckingham Palace revealed. Princess Anne's farewell to Buckingham Palace wasn't just a goodbye. It was an admission of the secret struggles she faced living within its walls. For decades, the public viewed Anne as the steady, unflappable royal, never one to show weakness or vulnerability. But in her emotional speech, Anne peeled back the curtain and revealed what life inside the palace really cost her. Behind the polished image of a dutiful royal was a woman who felt confined, isolated, and constantly under pressure. What led Anne to finally expose these deeply personal struggles? And what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? In her farewell speech, Anne admitted that the pressures of royal life often made her feel as though she was living in a bubble. While Buckingham Palace is a symbol of tradition and history, it also came with its own set of challenges. Anne revealed that, despite the beauty and prestige of the palace, she often felt trapped by the expectations placed upon her. It was as though the weight of royal duty was constantly bearing down on her, leaving little room for personal growth or happiness. The isolation Anne felt within the palace walls was palpable, and for the first time, she allowed the world to see this vulnerable side of her. What was most shocking about Anne's revelation was how much she had sacrificed over the years. While the public saw her as the strong, reliable royal, Anne's internal battle was one of emotional strain and exhaustion. She spoke openly about the loneliness she faced, despite being surrounded by family and staff. Buckingham Palace, which was supposed to be her home, often felt more like a prison. In revealing this, Anne shattered the perception that royals have everything they could ever want. Her truth opens up a new conversation about the hidden emotional toll of being a royal. Anne's emotional speech also highlighted the immense pressure that comes with being part of the royal family. She shared that the constant scrutiny, the public's expectations, and the need to maintain a perfect image were all-consuming. But despite all of this, Anne confessed that there was a part of her that always longed for a simpler life, one where she could live without the weight of the monarchy hanging over her. Anne's farewell was a deeply personal reflection on the sacrifices she had made and the toll it had taken on her over the years. In sharing her struggles, Princess Anne has opened the door to a deeper understanding of what it means to live as a member of the royal family. Her decision to finally speak out is a courageous step that may inspire others within the monarchy to also share their truths. What will this mean for the future of the royal family? Only time will tell, but Princess Anne's revelations have already begun to shift the conversation in ways no one could have anticipated. Why could this change royal history? Princess Anne's decision to leave Buckingham Palace is one that will undoubtedly echo through royal history. But why did she make this unprecedented move? And what does it mean for the monarchy's future? In her farewell speech, Anne made it clear that her decision wasn't just about seeking peace. It was about challenging the very structure of the monarchy itself. For the first time in history, a royal of Princess Anne's stature is questioning the monarchy's traditional values and its grip on her life. This bombshell announcement could reshape the future of the royal family in ways that no one expected. Princess Anne's departure is far from a simple exit. It's a symbolic act of defiance. For decades, the monarchy has been built on a foundation of tradition, duty, and control. But Anne's decision suggests that the royals may not be as invincible as they once seemed. Anne's words struck a nerve, as they called into question the very system that has governed the royal family for centuries. Could this be the beginning of a larger movement within the monarchy to modernize and adapt to the changing times? If Princess Anne's exit is any indication, the royal family might soon face an existential crisis that could force it to evolve or risk losing its relevance. The implications of Anne's decision are far-reaching. For years, the royal family has been seen as an institution that is above reproach. But Anne's bold farewell shows that even the most stalwart members of the royal household can feel the weight of tradition and the burden of duty. What does this mean for the future of the monarchy? Could we see more royals speaking out or stepping away from their royal roles in the future? Princess Anne's farewell has opened the floodgates for a larger conversation about the role of the monarchy in modern society. As the world digests Anne's shocking announcement, it's clear that the monarchy is at a crossroads. Will Princess Anne's decision to leave Buckingham Palace inspire a new era for the royal family, one that embraces change and transparency? Or will it serve as a reminder of the challenges and struggles that even royals face when living in the public eye? Only time will reveal what comes next, but one thing is certain. Princess Anne's decision will forever alter the course of royal history. The Hidden Princess. Anne's emotional departure from Buckingham Palace has sent shockwaves through the royal family. But behind her heartfelt farewell lies a hidden truth that the public has never known. Until now. Anne's decision wasn't just about leaving a building. It was about leaving behind a system that had long dictated her life. Her words uncovered the raw emotions that have been building for years, offering an inside look into what life inside Buckingham Palace is really like. Was Anne's decision driven by personal dissatisfaction, or was there something more at play? This shocking revelation challenges everything we thought we knew about royal life. In her speech, Anne confessed that her decision to leave was a long time coming. Despite being a respected member of the royal family, she had always felt like an outsider in her own home. Buckingham Palace, despite its grandeur, had become a place where Anne felt increasingly isolated and disconnected. Her words hinted that the palace had long been a symbol of duty and sacrifice, but not of personal happiness. Could it be that Anne's emotional departure is a statement against the monarchy's rigid structure? If so, what does this mean for other royals who may feel similarly trapped by tradition? Anne's farewell marks a turning point in how we view the royal family's internal dynamics. While the world may have thought of Anne as the dutiful royal who followed the rules, her words have shown us a woman who is ready to break free from the expectations placed upon her. This is not just a story about a royal departure. It's a story about reclaiming one's life and identity in the face of overwhelming pressure. As Princess Anne steps away from Buckingham Palace, she leaves behind a legacy that could change the way we view royalty forever. So, what does this mean for the future of the royal family? Anne's decision to leave has created a ripple effect that will be felt for generations. Her willingness to speak out and take control of her own destiny may inspire others within the monarchy to do the same. Will we see more royals breaking away from their roles, or is Princess Anne's departure a one-time act of defiance? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. Princess Anne's farewell will go down in history as one of the most surprising and impactful moments in royal history. What this means for the royal family. Princess Anne's departure from Buckingham Palace is not just a personal moment, it's a symbol of a much deeper shift within the royal family. For centuries, the monarchy has been seen as a monolithic institution, with members expected to follow strict protocols and carry out their royal duties with little room for personal choices. But Anne's emotional farewell hints at a broader change that is bubbling beneath the surface. Could her decision to leave represent the first crack in the royal facade, a sign that the royal family is finally confronting the immense pressures of modern life? Anne's farewell is not just about her stepping down from a royal role. It is an invitation to reconsider how the monarchy functions in the 21st century. In an age where personal autonomy and mental health are gaining more recognition, Anne's words suggest that even the royals are not immune to the struggles that many of us face. The world has long admired the royal family for its strength, poise, and tradition. But Anne's departure reminds us that even they have their limits. Could this be the first step in a larger evolution of the monarchy? A shift where individual needs are placed alongside royal duties. What makes Anne's exit so compelling is how it intersects with the struggles that many of the younger royals have been quietly facing in recent years. From Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step away from royal duties to the increased scrutiny placed on younger generations, there is a growing sense that the monarchy may be on the verge of a major transformation. Anne's farewell has opened the door for future conversations about what it means to be a royal in the modern age. And in doing so, she has set a precedent that may influence how the next generation of royals approach their roles. Despite the shockwave caused by Anne's words, one has to wonder how much of this is tied to her personal experience, and how much of it reflects a larger desire for change within the royal family. Anne's life has been marked by a deep sense of duty, but her emotional farewell suggests that even she has struggled with the weight of tradition. It's a moment that calls for reflection, not only for Anne, but for all of us as we consider the evolving nature of royalty, leadership, and individual freedom. In the end, Princess Anne's departure isn't just about her leaving Buckingham Palace. It's a symbol of change, a challenge to the status quo, and a call for deeper conversations about how the royal family can adapt to the modern world while still honoring its history. The future of the monarchy is in flux, and Anne's bold decision may have been the catalyst that sparks a much-needed dialogue about the personal lives of royals and their ability to forge their own paths. Princess Anne's emotional farewell to Buckingham Palace has left an indelible mark on the royal family's history. Her decision to step away is a powerful statement that challenges the very foundation of royal life as we know it. But what does it mean for the future of the monarchy? Will other royals follow in her footsteps, or is this a unique moment of defiance that will forever change how we see the family? As the royal world processes Anne's shocking words, one thing is clear: the monarchy will never be the same again. Do you think Princess Anne's decision will inspire other royals to break free from tradition? Or will the royal family close ranks and continue with business as usual? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this explosive look into Princess Anne's life and the royal family's internal struggles, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for more eye-opening royal revelations. You won't want to miss the next story. We have more shocking updates coming soon.
Can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it. I was the only one, so I think she carved her own role.
Queen Camilla's rise to prominence as King Charles III's wife has been one of the most talked-about transformations in modern royal history. Before her marriage to Charles in 2005, Camilla was married to Andrew Parker Bowles, a former member of the British military. Together, they had 2 children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes. while Tom often draws attention for his culinary career and occasional public appearances. Laura has remained far more private, choosing to stay out of the royal spotlight as much as possible. However, recent revelations by Laura have shocked royal observers and the public alike, as she spoke candidly about her mother's controversial journey to the throne and the impact it had on her personal and professional life. Her story sheds light on the unique struggles she faced as someone pulled into the royal fold without choice, offering an intimate perspective rarely shared by those adjacent to the monarchy. Laura Lopes was born on January 1, 1978, into a world of British upper-class privilege, but far removed from royal traditions. As the daughter of Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles, Laura grew up in an environment of wealth and status, attending Haywood Preparatory School and later pursuing a degree in the history of art at Oxford Brookes University. During her formative years, Laura lived a relatively normal, albeit privileged life with her brother Tom. However, even during her childhood, the whispers and rumors surrounding her mother's relationship with Charles began to seep into her reality. The media's relentless coverage of Camilla as the other woman in Charles and Diana's marriage created an unwanted shadow over Laura's life. Friends, teachers, and even strangers would make assumptions about her based solely on her mother's public image. For a young girl trying to understand the complexities of relationships and trust, these experiences forced her to mature quickly. Laura has described her formative years as turbulent, marked by a deep tension between her mother's devotion to family and the public perception of her as a villain. The divorce of her parents in 1995, fueled by years of rumors about Camilla's affair with Charles, was another difficult chapter for Laura. Though shielded from the media as much as possible, she couldn't escape the indirect effects of the public scrutiny that engulfed her family. Yet through it all, Laura maintained a strong bond with her mother. She admired Camilla's ability to remain composed and resilient, even when she was one of the most criticized figures in the British press. When Camilla married Charles in 2005, Laura's life changed dramatically. Unlike Prince William and Prince Harry, who were born into royalty and grew up under the spotlight, Laura was thrust into the royal world as an adult. This abrupt transition was far from easy. While her mother embraced her new role as Duchess of Cornwall, Laura found herself struggling to reconcile her private life with the expectations of her new royal connections. Attending public events with her mother and stepfather brought an overwhelming amount of attention she never sought. She often felt out of place, especially during high-profile events where royal protocols clashed with her desire to remain in the background. One of the most fascinating aspects of Laura's story is her relationship with her stepbrothers, Prince William and Prince Harry. Their interactions have been described as polite, but distant. It is no secret that William and Harry have struggled with their father's relationship with Camilla. Both princes have spoken openly about the pain caused by their parents' divorce and Charles's affair, which undoubtedly created a natural barrier between them and Laura. According to reports, heated arguments occasionally broke out between Laura and William in the early years after Camilla and Charles's marriage. William, feeling protective of his late mother, Princess Diana, would sometimes criticize Camilla, blaming her for his mother's unhappiness. Laura, fiercely loyal to her own mother, would push back, arguing that Charles's actions had caused just as much difficulty for her family. These disagreements highlight how both William and Laura coped with the emotional fallout of their parents' past, but from very different perspectives. Despite these tensions, Laura has largely avoided engaging in any public disputes. Unlike Harry, who has been vocal about his grievances with the royal family, Laura has chosen to stay silent, focusing on her own life and career. However, the release of Harry's memoir, Spare, reignited old wounds. In the book, Harry described Queen Camilla as a dangerous figure who prioritized her public image over the well-being of others. While Laura did not directly respond to Harry's claims, reports suggest she was deeply hurt by the accusations. The fallout from the memoir has added another layer of complexity to Laura's relationship with her stepbrothers, making an already fragile dynamic even more strained. Professionally, Laura has built an impressive career as an art gallerist, establishing her independence from the royal family. She worked at prestigious institutions, including the Peggy Guggenheim Collection in Venice, and later co-founded 11 Gallery in London, which focuses on promoting emerging artists. Her work in the art world has allowed her to carve out her own identity, separate from her royal connections. Friends describe Laura as independent, grounded, and uninterested in the trappings of royalty. Even after her mother became queen consort, Laura continued to prioritize her career and family, avoiding the spotlight whenever possible. In her personal life, Laura has also sought stability and privacy. She married Harry Lopes, a former model and chartered accountant, in 2006. Their wedding, held at St. Cyriac's Church in Wiltshire, was attended by members of both the Parker Bowles and royal families. Laura's choice of Anna Valentine to design her wedding dress, a nod to the same designer who created Camilla's bridal gown for her marriage to Charles, highlighted her quiet connection to her mother. Together, Laura and Harry have 3 children, Eliza, and twin boys Gus and Lewis. Laura has been fiercely protective of her children, determined to give them as normal an upbringing as possible. While Eliza briefly entered the public eye as a bridesmaid at Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding in 2011, Laura has largely kept her family away from royal events. Her focus has been on creating a grounded and private life for her children, free from the pressures of their royal connections. Despite her efforts to remain private, Laura's ties to the royal family inevitably draw her into the public eye from time to time. She has attended significant events, including the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla in 2023, where her twin sons served as pages of honor. The boys' participation was a poignant moment, symbolizing the blending of Camilla's old and new family. Yet, even on such occasions, Laura's discomfort with public attention is apparent. Insiders note that while she fulfills her duties gracefully, she often remains on the periphery, avoiding unnecessary interactions with key royal figures. Laura's relationship with her mother is one of the most compelling aspects of her story. While she deeply admires Camilla's resilience and ability to overcome public criticism, Laura has also acknowledged the challenges their family faced as a result of Camilla's role in Charles's life. Camilla's decision to fully embrace her royal duties created a sense of distance between mother and daughter, depriving them of the simpler, more private moments they once shared. Yet, through it all, their bond remains strong. Laura has been described as one of Camilla's closest confidants, a voice of reason and support during difficult times. Royal insiders even claim that Laura is the only person Camilla truly fears, highlighting the depth of their relationship and the mutual respect they share. The media's relentless focus on Laura has been a source of frustration for her. Every significant event in her life, from her marriage to the births of her children, has been closely scrutinized by the British press. Laura has expressed frustration that her achievements are often overshadowed by her mother's history and the controversies surrounding the royal family. She has worked tirelessly to build a life defined by her own merits, but her connection to Queen Camilla and King Charles III continues to complicate her efforts to remain private. Adding to her challenges, Laura's professional ventures have not always been smooth. Her fashion boutique, Mojo & McCoy, which she co-founded with friends, recently closed after facing difficulties in the retail industry. The boutique, located in Hungerford, was initially seen as a promising business, stocking high-end brands and catering to the affluent local community. However, despite Laura's best efforts, the store struggled to stay afloat. Reports suggest that Laura may seek advice from King Charles before embarking on a new business venture, as she has been impressed by his ability to navigate tough situations. This acknowledgement of Charles's guidance highlights the evolving dynamic between Laura and her stepfather, as well as her willingness to lean on him for support when needed. Laura's future remains a subject of speculation. While rumors occasionally surface about the possibility of her and her brother Tom receiving royal titles, both have firmly denied such claims. Laura has made it clear that she has no interest in becoming a public figure or taking on formal royal duties. Instead, she continues to focus on her family, her art career, and her desire to lead a life that is as normal and private as possible. Yet, as the daughter of Queen Camilla, Laura's attempts to separate herself from the royal family may never fully succeed. Her presence at key events and her role as a supportive daughter and mother ensure that she will always remain connected to the monarchy in some way.
I asked my brother, I said, what are your plans? How are you and Kate getting up there? And then couple of hours later, all of the family members that live within the Windsor and Ascot area were jumping on a plane together, a plane with 12, 14, maybe 16 seats.
You were not invited on that
I
plane?
was not invited.
Deep under Buckingham Palace, where no one was ever supposed to look, something was hiding. A long, dark tunnel, hidden for who knows how many years. No one knew it was there. Until now. When the FBI and British investigators uncovered the passage, they thought it was just another forgotten tunnel. But the second they stepped inside, everything changed. Their faces went pale. Their hands started shaking. Because what they found wasn't just old or mysterious. It was something no one was ever meant to see. And the biggest question of all, who built this? And what were they trying so hard to hide? The discovery of the secret tunnel. It all started with a tiny mistake. Something so small that at first nobody thought much of it. A maintenance worker inside Buckingham Palace was doing a routine check in the basement. Nothing exciting, just another regular day on the job. He was fixing an underground pipe when he noticed something strange. As he walked across the stone floor, one of the tiles beneath his feet sounded hollow. At first he thought nothing of it, but the sound stuck in his mind. So, out of curiosity, he knocked on the floor again. Hollow. He knocked again, this time louder. Echo. That's when he knew there was empty space beneath the floor. He reported it to Palace security, thinking it might be a structural problem, maybe an old storage room, maybe an abandoned basement. Who knew? But what happened next changed everything. That very night, security cameras in the palace picked up something even more bizarre. One of the basement floor tiles, the same one the worker had knocked on, had shifted overnight. No one had touched it. No one had been down there. Yet somehow, between midnight and early morning, the floor had moved. Now, this wasn't a haunted house, and this wasn't supposed to happen inside one of the most secure buildings in the world. By morning, officials were called in to investigate. At first, they thought it might be a sinkhole or maybe just old, unstable flooring. But when they finally lifted that loose tile, they found something that no one expected. A hidden staircase, leading straight downward. The air that rose from it was cold. Not the kind of cold you'd expect from an old basement. This was deeper, older. A cold that felt like it had been trapped for centuries. That's when the FBI got involved. Now you might be wondering, why would the FBI care about a tunnel under Buckingham Palace? Well, here's the thing. For years, intelligence agencies had been investigating missing historical artifacts, rare items, documents, and treasures that had vanished without a trace. Some believed these priceless objects weren't lost at all. Some believed they were hidden. And some even whispered rumors of secret tunnels beneath London, leading to places the public was never meant to find. So when this underground passage was discovered, the FBI, along with British intelligence officers, had to act fast. Because if this tunnel was connected to something bigger, it meant history had been hiding a very dark secret. Entering the tunnel. The moment they stepped inside, it felt like stepping into another world. The tunnel was narrow, barely wide enough for two people to walk side by side. The walls were made of ancient bricks, some crumbling, others covered in moss. The air was damp and heavy, carrying the smell of earth, stone, and something else. Something old. The deeper they went, the more the air changed. It wasn't just cold anymore. It was thick. It clung to their skin, as if the tunnel itself had been sealed off for so long that even the air didn't belong to this time. Then, they saw something that shouldn't have been there. Footprints, fresh ones. Now think about this. If this tunnel had been hidden for centuries, no one should have been down here. So who had left these? And how recently? The agents exchanged nervous glances. Was someone else down here with them? They pressed forward, flashlights cutting through the darkness. And then, they saw something even stranger. A single torch, still burning. That's when their stomachs dropped. If the tunnel had been abandoned for hundreds of years, then that flame shouldn't exist. Someone had lit it recently. But who? And where were they now? They pushed deeper. The tunnel stretched farther than they expected. The walls changed, shifting from neatly stacked bricks to rough, jagged stone, as if parts of the tunnel had been carved by hand. That's when they saw the first sign of something truly disturbing. A stack of wooden crates, half broken, covered in dust. One had split open, revealing documents so old that the paper looked like it would crumble with a single touch. The agents carefully pulled one out. The writing was faded, but the moment they saw it, their blood ran cold. Latin. Handwritten. Old royal seals stamped across the pages. Were these secret documents from the past? Lost records? Hidden messages? But before they could examine further, they noticed the tunnel took a sharp turn. And at the very end of that turn, a massive, rusted iron door. It stood half buried in the stone, its edges sealed tight with something that looked like wax or old cement. One of the agents stepped forward, reaching out to touch it. The metal was ice cold, even though the tunnel wasn't freezing. Then, as his fingers brushed the surface, thud, a sound from the other side. They froze. Everyone turned to each other, eyes wide. Was something in there? The agent hesitated, then pressed his ear against the metal. Silence. Then, another thud. This time, louder. This time, closer. The FBI agents pulled back, exchanging glances. Some of them wanted to open it, others weren't so sure. But before they could make a decision, the door shuddered, like someone or something was trying to get out. At this point, the team had a choice. Do they open the door, or do they seal this tunnel forever? Whatever was behind it, someone had locked it away. The real question was, why? And more importantly, what if it was never meant to be found? Who knew about this tunnel? Now here's the big question. Did the royal family know about this tunnel? I mean, think about it. Buckingham Palace has been standing for hundreds of years. You'd expect that the people living inside would know every inch of it, right? But what if they didn't? Let's say the tunnel was built centuries ago. Maybe it was dug long before Buckingham Palace even existed in its current form. Maybe it was once connected to an older building that stood here before. That would mean the royal family might not have known about it at all. But then again, how could they not know? We're talking about a tunnel right beneath their feet. Could it be that some members of the royal family were aware of it, but they kept it a secret? What if this tunnel was used for something they didn't want the public to know about? Maybe secret meetings? Maybe something even darker? And here's another thought. If the royal family didn't know, then who did? Someone had to build it. Someone had to use it. And most importantly, someone had to keep it hidden for all these years. So, who were they? If not the royal family, then who built it? And why? All right, let's assume for a moment that the tunnel wasn't built by the royals. That opens up a whole new set of possibilities. Could it have been built by a secret society? Maybe a group of spies? Or could it have been made for something even more mysterious? London is a city full of history, and throughout the years, it has been home to many powerful people. Kings, queens, politicians, war strategists, and even criminals. Maybe this tunnel was built as an escape route for someone important. Maybe it was a passage for spies during a war. And here's a chilling idea. What if it wasn't just used for transportation? What if this tunnel had a darker purpose? Imagine this. Centuries ago, someone, maybe a secret organization, dug this tunnel and used it to smuggle things. Or even people. Could it have been connected to human trafficking? Could prisoners have been kept there? Could this have been a hidden dungeon? The more you think about it, the more questions pop up. Because if this tunnel was built for a reason, and someone went through so much effort to hide it, then whatever happened down there had to be something big. Is this evidence of a hidden part of British history? We all learn about history in school. We hear about kings, queens, wars, and revolutions. But here's the thing. History is always written by the winners. What if there's another side to British history that we've never been told? If this tunnel was never meant to be found, then it's safe to say that it was part of a secret. But what kind of secret? Could it be something that changes what we thought we knew about Buckingham Palace? Maybe this tunnel was used during a time of crisis, and no one ever documented it. Or maybe it was deliberately erased from history. If that's the case, we have to ask, why? What was so dangerous about this tunnel that people wanted to pretend it never existed? Could it lead to another part of London that was once a secret meeting place? Could it be connected to old government dealings? Or could it be something far more mysterious, like a hidden underground network that only a select few knew about? The fact that no one spoke about this tunnel before means that someone wanted it to stay buried. But as we all know, the truth always comes out. Government cover-ups. Now, let's talk about the government. If something this massive was just discovered beneath one of the most famous buildings in the world, why haven't we heard about it in the news? Could it be that the government is trying to cover it up? It wouldn't be the first time governments have hidden information from the public. And let's be real. If this tunnel holds something really shocking, do you think they would just tell us right away? Probably not. Imagine if this discovery exposed something that could change the way people view the British monarchy. Imagine if it revealed something about past kings and queens that would make people question everything. That would be a huge scandal. So what does the government do in situations like this? Simple. They keep quiet. Maybe they've already sealed off the tunnel. Maybe they're investigating in secret. Or maybe they've known about this tunnel for years but didn't want the public to find out. But here's the real question. Can they really keep something this big a secret forever? In today's world, where information spreads like wildfire, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. Could it be tied to a major historical event? History is full of mysteries, and some of them might just connect to this tunnel. What if it played a role in a major historical event? World War II. During World War II, London was a city of spies, hidden codes, and secret operations. The British government built many underground bunkers and escape tunnels during this time. Could this be one of them? Maybe it was an emergency escape route for the royal family in case of an attack. Or what if it was used against the royal family? Maybe enemy spies used this tunnel to infiltrate the palace. Maybe someone important went missing through this tunnel, and that's why it was covered up. The Cold War. During the Cold War, intelligence agencies like MI6 and the CIA were involved in all kinds of secret activities. Could this tunnel have been a meeting place for spies? Maybe a place where classified documents were exchanged? Maybe even a place where someone was silenced forever? Ancient royal scandals. The British monarchy has seen its fair share of scandals over the centuries. Affairs, betrayals, even mysterious disappearances. Could this tunnel be connected to one of those stories? Maybe a secret lover of a king or queen used this tunnel to sneak in and out. Maybe a missing servant was hidden here. Or maybe someone was imprisoned down there and never made it out. There are so many possibilities, and each one is more terrifying than the last. How does this change what we know about Buckingham Palace? Let's be honest. When we think of Buckingham Palace, we think of royalty, luxury, and tradition. But this discovery proves that there's another side to this place, one that has been kept in the shadows. If this tunnel really is as old as it seems, then what else is hidden beneath Buckingham Palace? Could there be more tunnels? More secret rooms? Could there be an entire underground world that we've never even imagined? And if the people in power have been keeping this a secret for so long, what else are they hiding? This discovery doesn't just change what we know about Buckingham Palace, it changes what we know about history itself. Because if a tunnel like this can stay hidden for centuries, then what other secrets are still buried beneath our feet? Are secret tunnels under Buckingham Palace real? London is an old city with a deep, complicated history. Beneath its streets, there's another world. Hidden tunnels, forgotten passageways, and underground chambers that most people don't even know exist. Some of these tunnels are hundreds of years old. Others were built in secret and never officially recorded. One of the most famous underground places is the Tower of London, which has tunnels that date back to medieval times. These tunnels were used for escape, for moving prisoners, and even for smuggling goods. Some say they were also used for something much darker, secret executions that history tried to erase. Then there's Whitehall, the center of the British government. It has underground bunkers and secret passages built during World War II. Winston Churchill himself used these hidden tunnels to move around safely while bombs fell over London. And let's not forget Windsor Castle, one of the royal family's favorite homes. It has tunnels leading in and out of the castle, which some say were used by kings and queens as escape routes during dangerous times. There are even rumors that some of these tunnels connect directly to Buckingham Palace. Now here's the big question. If these secret tunnels exist in other royal buildings, why wouldn't Buckingham Palace have them too? In fact, there are stories about a tunnel leading from Buckingham Palace all the way to Whitehall. Some even believe there's an entrance hidden inside a well-known London pub called the Red Lion. The idea is that if the royal family or government officials ever needed to escape quickly, they could take the tunnel instead of going through the streets. But what if these tunnels weren't just used for escape? What if they were used for something else? Whenever we hear about secret tunnels, we usually think of exciting things. Hidden treasures, spies sneaking through the night, or daring prison escapes. But tunnels can also hide dark secrets. And the one under Buckingham Palace? It might have been used for something no one was supposed to see. Think about it. Why would such a tunnel exist? If it was just for escape, why keep it a secret for so long? There must be another reason. One that the public was never meant to find out. One chilling theory is that the tunnel was used to smuggle people, but not in the way you might think. There have been whispers, rumors, and old stories suggesting that tunnels like this could have been used to move prisoners, spies, or even enemies of the crown without anyone knowing. Imagine being taken into the palace and never being seen again. Could this tunnel be connected to something like that? And then there's another theory, one that's even more disturbing. Some people believe that certain underground tunnels in London were used for secret meetings, rituals, or activities that had to stay hidden from the public eye. These stories have never been proven, but history is full of things that were once dismissed as crazy theories, only to be revealed as true years later. So what was this tunnel actually for? Was it a simple escape route, a smuggling passage, or something much, much darker? Possible theories behind the tunnel. There are a few possible explanations for why this tunnel exists. Some make perfect sense. Others, not so much. But they all lead to one big mystery. Why was it kept hidden for so long? Was it built as an escape route? The most logical reason for a tunnel under Buckingham Palace would be to help the royal family escape if they were ever in danger. Think about it. If an enemy army invaded London, or if a revolution started, the king or queen couldn't just walk out the front door. They would need a way to leave without anyone noticing. History has plenty of examples of rulers using secret tunnels to escape. In France, King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette tried to flee during the French Revolution. But they didn't have a hidden passage, so they were caught and executed. Maybe the British monarchy learned from that mistake and made sure they had a way out, just in case. But here's where things get strange. If this tunnel was really for escape, wouldn't it be common knowledge by now? Wouldn't it be recorded somewhere in history? Yet, no official records mention it. So either it was built in complete secrecy, or it wasn't meant for escaping at all. Was it used for smuggling? Smuggling is another strong possibility. Throughout history, tunnels have been used to move illegal goods, weapons, or even people without detection. Imagine this. Long ago, before modern security systems, Buckingham Palace was receiving something or someone that couldn't be seen by the public. Maybe it was valuable treasure, rare artifacts, or even dangerous people that the monarchy wanted to keep hidden. There's also the possibility that spies use this tunnel. London has always been a city of espionage. During World War II and the Cold War, intelligence agents were everywhere, and hidden tunnels were the perfect way to transport top-secret information without being tracked. Could this tunnel have played a role in something like that? Or was it something even bigger? Could it be connected to other underground networks? London has an entire network of underground tunnels, many of which are still unexplored. What if this tunnel under Buckingham Palace isn't just one tunnel, but part of a larger system? We know that the London Underground, the subway system, has abandoned stations and secret tracks that the public isn't allowed to see. We also know that old buildings, like the Houses of Parliament, have underground passageways that lead to unknown places. So what if this tunnel connects to all of them? If that's the case, the tunnel under Buckingham Palace could lead anywhere, to another royal building, to a hidden bunker, or maybe even to a place that nobody has discovered yet. And here's a crazy thought. What if the tunnel is still being used today? Imagine walking through London, completely unaware that beneath your feet, something is moving. Something hidden. Something secret. Maybe that's why the FBI got involved. Maybe they didn't just find a tunnel. Maybe they found something inside it. Something that wasn't supposed to be found. But what do you think? Was this tunnel an escape route? A hidden prison? Or something even darker? Do you believe the royal family knew about it? Or is there an even bigger cover-up at play? Let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear your theories. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most mysterious discoveries, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.